Every American city follows a familiar formula, with sprawling suburbs, wide streets, and daily life organized around the car. In Iran, cities often feel the opposite, shaped by ancient empires, historic squares, and communal markets that rewrite the rules of daily life. Why do Iranian cities seem built on a different logic entirely? And what happens when rapid growth and modern stress collide with these thousand-year-old foundations? The answers redefine what a city can be. In the heart of Isfahan, a vast stone square stretches out, surrounded by domes, arcades, and the hum of daily trade. This is Naqsh-e-Jahan Square, commissioned by Shah Abbas I in the early 1600s as the centerpiece of his new capital. The design was no accident. Every corner served a purpose. The Shah Mosque for worship, the Ali Kapu Palace for statecraft, the Sheikh Lotfollah Mosque for private devotion, and the Caesarea Bazaar for commerce. Rather than scattering functions across distant neighborhoods, the Safavid planners drew them together into a single, dense core. Streets radiated outward in straight lines, linking the square to bazaars and bridges, creating a city that worked on foot and thrived on constant movement. Contrary to the myth of winding Islamic mazes, Isfahan's heart was shaped by orthogonal logic, an imperial vision that still anchors the city's daily life centuries later. In Tehran, the 1920s and the 1930s brought a new vision onto the old city. Under Reza Shah, straight boulevards and a rigid grid sliced through tangled quarters, carving wide avenues like Lalezar and Pahlavi, where only narrow alleys had run before. These modern overlays did not erase the past, but layered it, and old mosques and courtyards now faced grand streets lined with banks and cinemas, while traffic circled the old bazaar's dense heart. In Shiraz, the city identity continued to bloom in its historic gardens. Aram Garden, first planted under the Zand dynasty, still draws families and students who stroll its paths or gather for tea beneath cypress trees. The rhythm of daily life unfolds in these spaces, where the geometry of Persian gardens, water channels, tiled pavilions, and shady walks links centuries of tradition to the present. Even as cities grew and changed, these living patterns endured, connecting the modern grid to a deeper sense of place. By the late 20th century, Iran's cities were absorbing newcomers at a breathtaking pace. In 1956, only 31% of Iranians lived in urban areas. By 2006, that number had soared to 69%, with cities like Tehran, Mashhad, Isfahan, and Shiraz swelling far beyond their historic cores. Tehran's population density now approaches 15,000 people per square kilometer, 5 times higher than most major American cities. Car ownership has followed a similar trajectory. In the 1980s, there were roughly 80 cars for every 1,000 people. Today, that figure stands above 220, crowding streets that were never designed for such volume. This surge has reshaped daily movement, with more families relying on private vehicles even as public transit remains vital. The scale and speed of this demographic shift have redefined what it means to live in an Iranian city, setting the stage for mounting pressures on infrastructure and the urban environment. A thick haze settles over Tehran on most mornings, with air pollution levels often topping 50 micrograms per cubic meter, more than double the World Health Organization's recommended limit. Commuters pack into metro cars, joining 2.5 million daily riders trying to escape gridlocked streets. But even underground, the city's strain is felt. In Isfahan, the Zayandeh Rud riverbed lies cracked and empty, fueling protests by farmers and city residents. As water scarcity deepens, blackouts have become a routine part of summer in cities like Shiraz and Mashhad. As energy demand outpaces supply and the grid falters, these pressures shape the rhythm of urban life. Students study by flashlight during outages, families ration tap water, and office workers check the air quality index before stepping outside. For many, each day is a negotiation with the weather, the infrastructure, and the limits of the city itself. Inside Shiraz's Vakil Bazaar, The air is thick with the scent of spices and the rhythm of bargaining. Carpets drape over stone walls, and a merchant whose family has traded here for 7 generations gestures toward the domed ceiling. He says his stall sits on the same spot his ancestors claimed in the Qajar era. The bazaar is more than a market. It is a guild hall, a mosque, a place for news and protest, all woven together by Waqf endowments that preserve both property and tradition. A woman from Shiraz describes how she navigates public space. In the tea houses, seating is subtly divided, and unspoken rules guide who gathers where. Dr. Mohammed Garipour, an urban historian, explains that these spaces function as the city's social engine, blending commerce, ritual, and daily life in ways rarely seen in the West. In Mashhad, land ownership operates on a scale that sets it apart from most global cities. The Astan Quds Razavi endowment, centered on the Imam Reza Shrine, manages vast properties and estimates range from 10 to 25% of the city's total land, though official figures are rarely disclosed. This religious foundation directs not only spiritual life, but also commercial development, leasing hotels, shops, and service clusters that surround the shrine. Municipal authorities in Iran, by law, control zoning and urban planning, but their power is often checked by national ministries or influential endowments. In contrast, cities in the United States typically grant zoning authority to local councils or private developers, with land use fragmented among many owners. Yet, even in Iran, exceptions surface. Enclaves like Lavasan near Tehran, developed in the early 2000s, offer private, gated communities that echo American suburban patterns, an elite aspiration not the rule. These institutional layers shape cities where land and power remain tightly bound to daily life. Urban life isn't universal. It is a product of history, power, and adaptation. As cities worldwide face new pressures, whose model shapes tomorrow? The answer is being built, street by street.